Welcome back to Combat Mission Shock Force 2 for a quick once-over of the US Stryker Infantry Platoon. This is a bit of a refresh. The slightly more advanced Stryker Infantry from Black Sea were one of the first unit guides I ever made back in the distant past, but it is slightly different, so a refresh is going to be worth it. The rifle squads follow the usual US Army format in Shock Force and Black Sea, 9 men strong, principally armed in this period with the M4. Note that this is just the M4, not the M4A1. The basic version can't be fired on full automatic, only 3-round burst and single shot. They come with unmagnified M68 red dot optics as standard. The squad is made up of 2 4-man fire teams, plus the squad leader who embeds with the A team by default. Each fire team has a team leader, a grenadier with the 40mm M203 underbarrel grenade launcher, a light machine gunner or auto rifleman armed with the M249 saw, and a rifleman carrying an 84mm M136 AT4 one-shot disposable anti-tank weapon. In the A team, that rifleman is specifically an anti-tank specialist. In the B team, he's actually the squad marksman and has a 4x ACOG optic on his M4. To some extent, the actual details of the small arms don't matter that much. It's the fact that there is a spread of capability down here at fire team level that's important. With a light machine gun, a grenade launcher and a disposable anti-tank weapon down in each fire team, they've got a lot of firepower and flexibility at the lowest level. In terms of ammunition, everyone has a weapon chambered for 5.56 NATO. That gives the squad total ammunition compatibility. In CM, each squad carries 1,870 rounds of 5.56, 72 40mm grenades for the M203s, with a 50-50 split between high explosive and high explosive dual purpose, 23 hand grenades, 2 AT4s, and 135 rounds of 9mm pistol ammunition. Some of the soldiers carry M9A1 Berettas as sidearms. The squad and team leaders all have binoculars, radios, and satellite PDAs, so they have very good C2 links. Everybody has got night vision devices and body armour. There are 3 of these squads in the platoon, plus a platoon HQ and a weapons squad. The platoon HQ here is 3 men strong, the platoon leader, a forward observer, and a radio operator. Everyone has M4s, the platoon leader and FO both have binoculars. In CM, the weapons squad is always split into 2 teams. The A team consists of 4 men, the squad leader, a machine gunner armed with an M240B GPMG, and 2 soldiers carrying important things like extra ammo and the tripod. The B team is the same, but without the squad leader. 2 M240s gives the platoon a solid base of fire for when it's operating away from its vehicles, whether they're working together or they're attached to individual rifle squads to bulk them up. They fire 7.62 NATO, so a more powerful round than 5.56 with a much longer effective range. They can be fired from the shoulder, from a bipod, or the team can take a little longer and set the tripod up. Each team carries 800 rounds of 7.62. So purely in terms of infantry, this platoon has a lot going for it. We have relatively large rifle squads with a lot of firepower, a reasonable amount of don't tread on me anti-tank capability from the AT4s, and to a lesser extent the HEDP grenades from the M203, plus 2 GPMGs and an embedded FO to help call in fires. This is before we get to the Strykers themselves. Specifically, these are the M1126 infantry carrier vehicle variants. Each one has space for 11 passengers. By default deployment, that's 1 vehicle per rifle squad, with another one carrying the platoon HQ and the weapons squad. They also carry 2 really important enablers for the dismounts. First, they've got stacks of extra ammunition. Over 3,000 rounds each of 7.62 and 5.56, another 40 40mm HEDP grenades, and 2 more AT4s. So the rifle squads and the MGs don't really need to worry about running out. Second, each vehicle has an FGM-148 Javelin stowed inside. When the dismounts acquire this, they get the Command Launch Unit, or CLU, with 1 missile already loaded. There's another missile in the vehicle for a total of 2. In many ways, Javelin is a ridiculous weapon system to have distributed down to squad level. It's a fire-and-forget ATGM with a range of 2.5 kilometers, a 127mm tandem heat warhead, and a top attack profile that bypasses the heavy frontal armour of target tanks. Compared to other ATGMs, including systems kept at higher organisational levels in other forces, it's incredibly reliable both in terms of accuracy and effect on target. A Stryker Infantry Platoon in Shock Force has 4 launchers in total, with 8 missiles to go around, so a single platoon can feasibly inflict 80% casualties on a Soviet-style 10-tank armoured company. Beyond the actual anti-tank capability, the Javelin's clue has a thermal imager, so the infantry can use it to boost their spotting, and obviously the weapon is not restricted to targeting enemy vehicles. It can also target buildings, bunkers, or even enemy infantry to good effect. This is just the stuff stashed in the back of the Strykers though. The M1126s themselves are equipped with a remote weapons station. In Shock Force 2 this mounts either an M2 50 caliber heavy machine gun or a Mark 19 40mm automatic grenade launcher. The M2 Browning should really require no introduction. In-game it can reach out to 2,000 meters with armor-piercing incendiary rounds, and it comes with over 2,000 rounds of ammunition. The Mark 19 fires 40mm HEDP grenades. These are 40x53mm, not the 45-46 grenades used in the M203, so they're not cross-compatible. It can fire out to 2,200 meters in-game, though unlike the M2 it's got a much more pronounced trajectory, and it's considerably less accurate. This makes it much more of an area effect weapon, a feature which is especially pronounced in combat mission. It appears to be considerably less accurate than it probably should be. Overall, the Mark 19 Strykers carry 432 rounds of ammunition. Both the M2 and Mark 19 are capable of defeating common Soviet IFVs like BMPs and BTRs. The M2 will struggle to penetrate the frontal armour of the BMP at longer ranges, while Shock Force's Mark 19 will struggle to land hits at long range, but they're very effective when they do connect. The HEDP grenades can make a mess of heavily armoured targets as well, though principally by degrading subsystems and detonating era blocks. Whichever weapon is mounted, the RWS has a thermal imager and is controlled remotely from inside the vehicle by the gunner. There is no automatic reload though, so when he fires off the current box of ammunition he has to pop the hatch and replace it himself, during which time he's pretty vulnerable. If he does get shot though, any passengers aboard will take over his position and keep the weapon in action. Speaking of vulnerability, the Stryker is not heavily armoured. In Shock Force 2 it's equipped with slat or cage armour, which can help defeat incoming heat warheads by either pre-detonating them or shearing the fuses off, but it's not as reliable as the kind of explosive reactive armour tiles they've been fitted with in Black Sea. Inside the cage, the hull is effectively proof against infantry small arms and shrapnel, but that's it. So it's not tremendously well protected. Strykers really don't want to be going toe-to-toe with anything if they can help it. If they do get caught out, they can pop smoke. They have forward-facing launchers mounted on the RWS. These have 2 charges and will deploy an instant multispectral smokescreen about 30 meters to the vehicle's front. In terms of crew, we have just 2, a driver in the front left and a gunner behind him and to the right underneath the RWS. The passengers are in the back with access via a rear ramp. If the vehicle is opened up, they'll pop 2 hatches at the rear, positions from which the Pixel Truppen will use their own weapons, plus anyone in the commander's seat behind the driver will stick their head up for some better situational awareness. All of the Strykers are equipped with night vision optics, radios and satellite communications, namely FBCB2s, so again really good command and control links. Finally, they are wheeled vehicles, so they have very good on-road performance, but they're going to be slower and less manoeuvrable off-road than something with tracks, especially in difficult terrain. So whether or not Strykers stick to the roads is a decision with some tactical impact. The M1126 scored 610 points in the vehicle mobility test, which is not great for a modern vehicle. This is comparable to the M3A1 half-track from World War II and a little bit worse than the BTR-82A at 540 points. But the vehicle mobility test is skewed towards off-road movement. If we focus just on the on-road movement, it's noticeably faster than its contemporaries. In a wider strategic or operational sense, the Stryker's ability to rapidly deploy by road with much lower maintenance overheads than tracked vehicles is a significant advantage and really the core concept behind the vehicle. That does, however, have follow-on effects at the tactical level. Overall then, the Stryker Infantry Platoon is made up of a good number of well-equipped infantry carried in well-armed APCs. It certainly has its vulnerabilities and its limitations, but against less well-equipped opponents it has considerable overmatch, and it's got the firepower to make heavier opposition treat it with respect. And of course, it's just the smallest building block of a much larger combined arms formation. We've been considering the platoon on its own in isolation, but Stryker infantry backed up by tanks, artillery and air power are a serious threat to pretty much anything. So that's a very quick look at the Stryker Infantry Platoon. When their run through the platoon patrol goes live, I'll link that down below so you can see how they do. If you'd like to see these videos early and support the channel, you can do so via Patreon and YouTube memberships. Whether you do or not, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.